Hey, it's Raf. Thanks for watching The Everyday Investor, the hottest real estate investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. We've got a doozy for you today. We're going to be talking about how to make money in the U.S., investing in real estate in the USA. We have a very special guest. Before I introduce him to you all, make sure you've got your pen, your paper, your pencil, your calculator, all that kind of stuff, because we're going to learn how we can make a lot of money investing in the States. You always want to ask those 4 questions when anyone ever introduces any kind of business venture to you. The first question is, what is the return on my investment? Number 2, when do I get that return on investment? What's the exit strategy? Number 3, how much am I out of pocket? What is the investment amount? And fourthly, what is the risk, the worst case scenario? Anil K. Walia, commander, chief, professor, author, good friend of mine, a paternal friend. I look at him as an uncle of mine. Has made a lot of money in real estate in just a short few years. I can't wait till you hear his story. Anil, thank you so much for being on the show. I know you're very busy. You're traveling all over the place, all over North America. You're in the States a lot. Actually, I shouldn't say that. You're in the States vacationing. You're doing everything right here from Toronto, and you're making a lot of money in real estate. Are you continuing to invest in the U.S.?
Yes. The last home I bought is on 18th February.
February 18th was the last home.
Yeah.
And you started in your very first property was in what year?
It was in January 2012.
January 2012. So in January 2012, so 4 years ago, you bought your very first property.
Yeah.
And how many properties to date do we have?
And today I have 42.
42 properties. 42 properties.
Yeah, 42.
And so the viewers at home are watching and they're saying, well, of course, because he came here from India with $10 million, and so therefore you're able to buy these 42 properties in 4 years. But that would be false if that's what I told the audience at home.
No,
that's not the viewers at home.
No, absolutely incorrect. I came with no money from from India.
Yeah.
I worked for 3 years as a system engineer in this place.
Yeah.
And I made my house almost mortgage free.
Yeah.
And then I got a layoff in 2009. And that is the time I thought that this house where I have equity of about 400,000 at that time.
So we were doing well. You bought a property in 2009. It increased in value,
Yes.
and so you had $400,000 of equity in the home. Probably a pinch more. You were able to pull out $400,000.
That's true.
So in 2009, between 2009 and 2011, you made some money. You were able to pull out $400,000.
That's true.
So you took that $400,000. And I can't wait to hear, for the viewers at home to hear the whole story of what you did. And, the most incredible thing is that you spent not a couple months researching, but you spent 2 years researching real estate in North America before you bought your first property in January 2011.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I spent 3 years. In 2009, when I got a layoff, I was a salaried person. I didn't know much about the business.
Yeah.
So, but I knew that I have some equity lying in my house, and I was 53 that time. That I don't want to look for a job again to get laid off.
Yes.
So I thought I should,
And where was that job? Weren't you going to like Belleville, or where were you? Where were you working?
I was a system engineer. But I used to work with hands.
No, but I thought you traveled quite some distance for this job.
Yeah, I was working in Peterborough.
In Peterborough. So your family home is in Toronto, but you would go for the week in Peterborough to this job.
That's true.
And then you got laid off from that job.
That's true.
And you said, I never want to have a job again.
That's true. I used to go Monday morning, come back Friday evening.
Yeah.
Stay in a hotel for 4 nights, and the food was not there. Indian food was not available.
No.
So
Wife's cooking was not there.
Yeah, it was
That's
terrible.
right.
So
Yes.
I was very happy when I got laid off.
Well, you're happy now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So then in 2009, you researched different things, and you said that a lot of people are making money in real estate. Correct?
That's true.
Yes. And so what did you do then? Tell me about this 2-year journey.
Yeah, you see, in India also I bought few properties and sold, and so I knew the money lies in real estate, and in real estate is the way to make money.
Yeah.
So when I got laid off, I looked inside and I thought that I should, get going on real estate once again. So I started working with people who were, making deals in Canada. So I started lending money to them. from $400,000 which I had.
Yeah.
I started lending money to them, and I was watching how they are.
So you were investing in private mortgages.
in private mortgage.
And what were you maybe 10%, 8%?
Yeah,
What were-
about 10%.
10%. Okay. Yeah.
So and that gave me an exposure into the deals, the kind of deals how
Yeah.
one can look for deals.
Yeah.
And then at the same time I was undergoing various mentoring programs
Yeah.
for Canada as well as for US.
Yeah.
And one good thing happened in 2009 or rather 2008 when US real estate melted
Yes.
because of a financial crisis.
And that was a good thing.
I mean, it was a good for
It was
us.
a good thing for the
us.
Walias.
Yeah, it was
and,
good
and for a
us.
lot of people. So hold that thought for a second. I'm so grateful you're on the show. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to continue on this story of yours. We're at the financial crisis moment in the U.S. and as a result, you now have 42 properties in the U.S. of A. We're talking to my good friend Anil Walia. Believe me, you don't want to go anywhere. The Everyday Investor will continue in a moment. Thanks for watching, everyone. Whenever you're considering to invest in real estate, always ask those 4 questions. Number 1, what's the return on my investment? Number 2, when do I get that return, along with the money that I put in? Number 3, what is the minimum cash amount needed? And number 4, what is the risk, the worst case scenario? Any opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants personally and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers, Rogers TV, or of Greybrook Securities Inc. Please consult a professional investment advisor before making investment decisions. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome back to the Everyday Investor. Today we're talking about how you can make money investing in the U.S. We're talking to my good friend Anil K. Walia. He has 42 properties in the U.S. We're going to, in a few minutes, bring up a few people that on the show that he's helped mentor to do the exact same thing. But let's continue with this story so the viewers at home can get to know you better. You moved here from India with no money, basically, in 2004. You had a job where you were traveling over an hour and a half, 2 hours. You stayed there for the week. You got laid off in 2009. And now you built up some equity in your principal residence. You have about $400,000 of equity. You started lending that money out at about 10% in private mortgages. And then why didn't you continue down that road? What transition from you getting into real estate, buying your first property in 2012 in January, and then in 4 years, now you have 42 properties. So you talked about what happened was the financial crisis in the States in 2009.
That's right.
So take it from there. Then what happened?
Yeah, you see, after financial crisis in US came about, and I realized properties are available over in US for about 30 to 40% of the peak price.
Yeah.
And that was
So you have a 60-70% discount. Okay.
That was a big incentive because in private mortgages, though I get 10% return, but the principal remained the same.
That's a great point. So when you invest in mortgages, which is a great thing, you're making cash flow, but your capital does not increase.
Does not.
So you wanted to continue to grow your capital. That $400,000, you wanted that to grow.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just making $40,000 on your 400, you wanted your 400 to grow. Okay.
Absolutely. So then I started looking for various mentors, and I did undergo various workshops and mentors. But I realized that nobody was willing to, give me the gen. They were willing to give me a dead fish. They were giving me turnkey properties and things like that. But they were not teaching me the art of catching the fish.
Okay.
So I thought that it is time I should, walk the route myself. So I started visiting various cities in the U.S.
With your own money,
With my
you
own
said,
money.
I don't like what I'm hearing. I want to go and learn this for myself.
Absolutely.
Now we're about 2010?
It was, 2010.
Okay.
So I visited Atlanta, I went to Chicago, I went to Las Vegas, Los Angeles,
Michigan,
Orlando,
Detroit,
Michigan,
all these different
Detroit,
places. So you
Cleveland.
went everywhere in the States where you thought, Phoenix, Arizona,
Yeah.
where you thought that you could make money.
Absolutely.
And what I really want the viewers at home to understand is this is 2010,
This is 2010.
early
and
2010,
11, yeah.
and you bought your first property
In
2012.
12, yeah, absolutely.
And so this took 2 years of research.
Absolutely.
And how much money did you spend altogether on this 2 years of research?
I think I must have spent around 40,000 plus.
$40,000. You only had 400,
Yeah, I only
and you
had
spent $40,000 in 2 years educating yourself.
Absolutely. Because I was not sure whether I should buy in Atlanta or in Las Vegas or in Phoenix or in, so unless and until you understand the market and the difference and what you want and, whether it meets your results or not. So it took me time.
Yeah.
And by, 2003, October, November, I was clear that Orlando is a place to go.
Yeah. 2000 when?
2003. 2011 November.
2011 November. So at the end of 2011, you narrowed in on Orlando. And so then you bought your first property, closed that January 2012.
Absolutely.
Okay. So and to date now, you have 42 properties. You're still buying. This is a niche market, right? You told me, Rav, I like 3 bedrooms, 2 washroom bungalows.
Absolutely.
This is what you're buying.
Absolutely.
So let me inspire those that are watching at home. How much, if you don't mind disclosing, how much cash flow are you making monthly from these properties?
It's around $52,000.
Stop it. Anil.
Absolutely.
You're making over $50,000 a month.
Yes.
$600,000 a year.
Absolutely.
From these properties.
Yeah, it's not a rocket science. 42 properties means even if $1,000 a month, it is $42,000. And few of my properties are rented at $1,800, $1,900.
But you did this 4 years ago.
4 years.
With $400,000.
Absolutely. So you need
and so you're making $600,000 a year right now.
Absolutely.
Just a few, last year or 18 months ago, it was at about $30,000 a month, $35,000 a month.
Absolutely.
Now you're doing,
almost
double that, $50,000 a month. What is the value of these properties? If you were to sell all 42 properties right now, how much cash would you have in your pocket?
No, the total valuation of the property is about $7.2 million today.
$7.2 million today.
US.
Okay, that's the value. Now, obviously, they have a 20, 30, 40% mortgage, which is a whole other topic. But if you were to sell everything today, you have about $4 million cash.
Yeah, must be.
So you took $400,000 and you turned that into $4 million in 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. This is by the grace of God because the property is appreciated over a period of time.
Yes.
I bought properties which were 40 cents to a dollar.
Yes.
And some of my properties got doubled in 2 years. So it's just a question of...
It is. Yes, I agree with you. There's only 2 possibilities in life. God makes things happen or he allows them to happen. But he also wants us to be wise and shrewd, not lazy. You spent 2 years, $40,000 researching. So let's talk about why Orlando. Why did you invest in Orlando? When you looked at all of America and Canada for that matter, why did you choose Orlando? What were the fundamentals?
You see, one is US offered a much better opportunity than Canada. In Canada, it is very difficult to find good deals.
Yes.
That is one. And secondly, the market in Canada is too hot.
Yes.
Everything which goes up has to come down.
So reason number 1, which you already shared, is America was on sale.
America was on sale.
Okay, so then what's another reason? So now we're in America.
Yeah.
Why Orlando?
In America, I realized that one should go to sunshining states.
Sunshine states.
Sunshining states. Because there is a lot of inward immigration from within US. There's immigration
in migration.
In migration.
People within the USA are all going to where they can retire, where it's sunny, so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that would take the East Coast away. It might be Phoenix, definitely not Detroit or Chicago or New York.
Absolutely.
But we're going to where there's a lot of sunshine where people want to return.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2. What else?
Yeah, and then Orlando offered, Florida as it is offers a sunshining state, and Orlando in particular offers a mixed economy. And there is a lot of tourist population coming, almost about 60 million tourists had been coming, and it's number 1 destination in the world.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Number 1 in the world?
Number 1 in the world. And,
really?
And this year it is going to cross almost 90 million tourists.
Wow. Now, it's not like these tourists are staying in your properties, though, but what you're saying is that helps the economy in which you're because these are long-term. Yeah. This is not Airbnb or, come stay for a week and move out. You have long-term tenants.
Long-term tenants.
Okay.
So this was the second aspect. The third aspect was in Orlando, the properties fell the most.
Okay.
That means a property which was $100,000 at peak, it came down to $43,000.
Wow.
So, in my assessment, these properties will rise again to the same level.
Well, that was a good assessment.
Yeah.
But here, I'm curious that here we are 2016 and you just closed on a property in Orlando.
Yes, absolutely.
So why, I mean, it didn't come all the way back, or it did, but you still see the value in all the other things and it's still going to increase in value.
You see, real estate is a different story by itself. In my opinion, there is a boom for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And then there's a bust for 2 to 3 years. There's a boom for 10 to 15 years.
I see.
So I see.
I got it. So it fell.
Yeah.
It fell in 2000, let's say 9.
Right.
And it fell for 2-3 years.
Yes.
And now you're saying you have another 10-15 of it going up.
Yeah.
And this is based on your research.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From 2012 to, in my opinion, 2015.
Yeah.
This properties are going to boom.
Yeah.
And
but we're past to 2015. You mean
no, 2025, sorry.
2025.
2025.
So according to Professor Walia, if I can buy in Orlando and my prices with your research, this is not just a gut feeling.
Yeah,
you can share all the fundamentals. Absolutely. In fact, you now mentor people. We're going to have a couple of people on the show that you've mentored.
Absolutely.
So you can teach people why you feel like prices in Orlando are going to continue to climb till at least 2025.
Absolutely.
Another 10 years.
In fact, in my opinion, the actual momentum in the properties haven't come as yet.
Yeah.
The momentum is going to come. The properties are going to shoot when they release the brakes on the mortgages in the US.
I see.
At this moment, there are very heavy brakes on the mortgages.
Yeah. So, but when they let go and loosen up, then we'll get back into the market.
Which had been happening for last 100 years,
Yeah.
and it will happen again. It happens in all countries. It happens in Canada.
Yes.
In US, after the burst, that momentum hasn't come, and it is bound to come because the history repeats itself. The mortgages are under a lot of restraints in US at this moment.
Yes.
So anybody who can park his money in US at this stage will be that much more comfortable.
No, well, I mean, it's phenomenal. If you're just watching the show, you got to make sure that you find out when the repeat is, just listening to Anil's story. But really, basically, you came to the country with no money. You lived in a house. You made some money in your principal residence because you didn't get in all this debt, refinance, and pay it. You let the equity grow to a tune of $400,000. In 2010, you took 2 years to research where you could make the most money. In 2012, you bought your first property. Now you have 42 properties, all in the same area. All in the same, driving 15, 20 minutes from each other. You have 42 properties that are giving you over $50,000 a month cash flow.
Absolutely.
And these are all worth altogether over $7 million. You have some mortgages on them. If you were to sell everything, you'd have over $4 million. I mean, that's an incredible story. You have a couple of mentees that you brought on the show. They've bought a property or two each. Very excited to hear from them. But quickly before we go to the break, I want to know about the profile of the property. You chose that the best property would be a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom bungalow that needed about how much work? How much money would you spend on average on getting these properties ready to rent?
You see, I don't buy properties which have structural problems.
Yes.
So none of my properties, they need
just lipstick.
More than $10,000.
Cosmetics.
Yeah, they need cosmetics because what I do.
What did you just say? Not more than $10,000?
Yeah, not more than $10,000 because I put paints inside and outside.
Yes.
Change the tiles, put new appliances. So if I don't do this, we can do it even for lesser amount.
Yeah, but do you do this and you're getting a good rent, and you have a rule of thumb which almost seems impossible, but it is impossible here, that you say you will never buy a property if you can't get 1% of the purchase price gross rent a month.
Absolutely.
So what that means is if you bought a property for $150,000, you must get $1,500 per month. Absolutely. If you buy a property for $200,000, you must get $2,000 per month. What's the lowest purchase price before we go to break, and what's the highest purchase price on a property that you've purchased?
The lowest purchase price is $85,000.
$85,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom. And the highest?
Highest $175,000.
$175,000.
Yeah.
$175,000 you bought, and these are all the same: 3-bedroom, 2-washroom.
3-bedroom, 2 washrooms.
Wow. Listen, you're not just a handsome face. You're also a very smart guy. I look forward to having your guests come on the show here just after the break to learn what they're doing as a result of your tutelage. Thank you so much, Anil, for being on the show.
Thank you.
We're talking to my good friend, Anil K. Walia, making a lot of money in real estate in the U.S. When we come back, we have one of his prodigies coming to show us how they did it with his instruction. Thanks for watching, everyone. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back. Always make sure that your investment property is generating at least 1% of purchase price as gross rent per month. Any opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants personally and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers, Rogers TV, or of Greybrook Securities Inc. Please consult a professional investment advisor before making investment decisions. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We've been talking to my good friend Anil Walia. In a short 4 years, he's accumulated 42 properties, generating him over $50,000 a month. That's right. I didn't stutter. I didn't get that wrong. Over $50,000 a month from these 42 properties in the States. The topic today is how we can invest in the States. So many people have been talking over the years, because since he's done this in the last 4 years, so many people have approached him, asked him to speak. He's on television. He's, doing some authoring, all this kind of stuff. That he said, I'm going to start getting into the coaching business. So now we're talking to his student, Zach. It's great to have you on the show. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And so you got to know Anilia because you went to school with his son.
That's right.
And you went to college, university?
University.
You went to university with his son, and you found out what your friend's dad is doing and how they're making money. And so you approached him and said, hey, can you mentor me? Can you coach me? Exactly. And the rest is history?
Exactly, yeah. So I knew them since they bought the first property. And then I kept running.
The first property in the States in 2012.
In the States, right.
Yep.
And then I kept hearing about their success. They've had, 10 houses now, 12, now 20. And when they got to about 25, I said, okay, and help me buy one too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And so Anil, I mean, you do this by yourself, but your boys, you have two boys. They're in their 30s now, and you have fun with this. You make this kind of a family endeavor. Even though you could do this on your own, you're involving the family, you're involving your family's friends, such as Zach, to be able to do this. How gratifying that is to be able to help other people.
No, it's very gratifying. In fact, this whole mentoring program is not to make money.
Yeah.
It is I draw a lot of pleasure and a lot of, inner satisfaction when I help somebody and I find, smile on their face and so satisfied.
Yeah.
So it gives me a different kind of strength.
Sure.
So that is why I do it, and I don't do it in tons. I do it very selective.
And as much as you have grandkids, we still have family. I mean, I'm sure you there's a few dollars that we charge for your time, and that's we need to do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be right. But obviously, the investment, Zach, is worth it. So you just started. So you've already closed on your first property.
I have. Yeah.
So you have one property in the States, and you look forward to doing more.
Yeah. So I have two right now.
Oh, you have two properties already.
Yeah.
Wow!
So
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yes.
So this was a property we purchased in 2014.
In 2014. So we're going to look at a property that you purchased in 2014. And this is in the same area, in the Orlando area, obviously, because that's what's working. So tell me the purchase price of this property.
So $84,000.
Actually, before we do that, humor me with the return on investment. I always say the very first question to ask is, what's the return on investment? So what did you do in 1 year on this property?
So the actuals in 2015 were 118%.
118%?
Yeah, the actuals.
In 1 year, on the first year of the property?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. So the ROI on this property, and you're going to teach us how we got that.
Yeah.
And you got your coach there too, if we need some help, is you made 180, you doubled your money that you put in your very first year, more than doubled.
That's right.
So how did we do that? What was the purchase price?
Purchase price was $84,000.
$84,000.
Yeah.
I mean, just this alone is ridiculous. I mean, here we are in Toronto, and we're buying a property in the Sunshine State here for $84,000.
Yeah.
Is there still a lot of properties around the $100,000 mark, Anil?
Yeah, there are properties. I won't say a lot, but you got to hunt, and they are available.
You just bought. You just closed on a property today You said no. You refinanced today. You took money out of it.
Yeah.
But you in the last couple months you bought a property. What was the purchase price on that one?
February 18th, I bought the property. It was 85,000.
85,000.
Yeah.
Like last month.
Like last month.
What month are we in? March.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
month
yeah.
you bought a property for 85,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so we bought a property for $84,000. So that's what we're in for. So teach me how we get this kind of return.
So then we spent about $5K to fix it.
About 5K. So can I add this to here?
Sure. So
Okay, so you're at
$89,000.
$89,000 with 5K lipstick, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Lipstick renovations. And lipstick means we cut the grass, we paint, we maybe change a carpet, and that's about it.
That's
right? Okay, so you're in for $89,000. Okay, great. So how we make money, I'm assuming we're going to increase the value because it appreciates in a year. We have tenants paying and we have cash flow. Just these three ways?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the appreciation, let's look at the mortgage pay down, and let's look at the cash flow. Okay, so it goes up in value, it comes down, and we have the cash flow. So here in the GTA, I like to use a very conservative, 5% or so. Obviously over there, it's increased a lot more. What percent did it increase in 1 year?
So in 1 year, it went up close to about 20%.
20%
Yeah.
in 1 year?
Yeah.
Wow, and is this still doing this kind of thing, Anil?
Yes.
It still is.
Yes. You see what happens when you
Stop the show. We're done. I give you some money. 20% just on the inflation.
just from the
So what is that on your 84,000 purchase price? What? How much is that?
So at the time when we purchased it and fixed it, it appraised at 110 back then. That was in late 2014.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, this appraised at 133.
At 133.
Yeah.
But give me the first year.
So 110 it appraised at.
110 and you bought it for 84. So what's the difference there? 26,000?
yeah,
21.
21,000.
21,000.
89 and 110, 21,000.
Oh, because you're including your
Yeah.
fix up. Got
Right.
it.
So
Okay, so 21K
Yeah.
is how much you made on the appreciation. And then they're paying your mortgage down, one tenant, paying your mortgage down here. Did you have a mortgage on this property?
Yeah, this was 110
Yeah.
in December 2014.
Yeah.
Then you got a loan because of 110.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And today the property value is 133.
Wow.
So in 1 year,
Yeah.
it went up by $23,000.
Oh, I thought you bought this in 2014.
Right, so end of 2014.
I know. Oh, I got it. So 1 year. Okay. So should I
21,000 is a sweat equity.
Yes.
This is a sweat equity.
Yes, yes, I
Then
got
it went up by 23,000.
Got it. So should I add that to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're saying plus another 23,000, and this
Yeah.
is all within the 1 year.
Yeah.
So this is 44 total.
Yeah.
Right,
44,000 total.
that's right.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
This is in
Yeah.
16,
And you-
16 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't even do anything to this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? You put $5,000 into this.
$5,000 in.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much are we paying down the mortgage on this? Is there a mortgage, first of all?
Yeah.
There's a mortgage. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a mortgage of 69,000.
Okay. So how much did the tenant pay down on that?
So I got an interest-only mortgage on this, so
Okay.
there's no mortgage pay down.
So
on
there's
this
no
particular-
mortgage pay
Yeah.
down. So we have zero pay down
Yeah.
because they're interest only.
Interest only.
Okay. And then what is it cash flowing? I'm assuming that we want at least 1%.
Yeah. So
So at least $900 a month.
the tenant is paying $1,000 a month in rent.
Yeah. Okay, that's what you're getting. $1,000. Yeah.
$1,000 a month, and after expenses and mortgage and all, positive cash flow is $290 per month.
$290 per month.
Yeah. So
So
annually,
that's
that comes to $34.80
$34.80.
per year. Yeah.
Okay. So is this what I'm doing? So I'm adding these two numbers up, which is about $48,000. Correct?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm dividing it.
So net, our money that's in the house is $19,700.
So
That's how much.
you pulled the money out.
Right. So when we got the mortgage, all our money that's stuck in there is $19,700.
Okay. So Anil, this is what we're doing. So we buy this property for $84,000 cash.
Cash.
Yeah.
We put in $5,000, but let's forget about the $5,000. We buy the property for $84,000 cash. And then you have a system in place where the bank will allow you to pull that money out. You put the $5,000, the value increased, and now you're pulling that money out.
Absolutely.
I see. And you're doing this right away.
Right away.
Right away.
Right away. You see this
No,
property.
when I say right away, I mean like you put this $5,000 in within 1 week. So after a few days of closing, he's pulling the money out.
Yes.
So he's not really in this for $89,000 then.
No. He's not in for 89,000. You see, we have to spend $89,000.
Yes, of course. In the States, you have to buy cash.
Yeah, after it is rented.
Yes.
Then we go to the bank.
Yes.
And it takes 2 to 3 months to get the money.
Yeah.
But if they give you money within 3 months,
Yeah.
then they allow you to take out 70%.
Okay.
But if after 3 months, then 80% you can take it out.
So basically, he's in the deal. If you're telling me it's 118% you made, and we're making about $48,000, then really in this deal you only have about 40 grand. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You pulled out, like, how much money do you have in the deal right now?
19,700. So 19,000.
20,000 you can
So
say.
let's
So
say
the-
20,000.
So
That's all I
$20,000.
have.
Okay,
Yes.
so sorry. So you're in the deal for $20,000, and here's where,
Yes.
because it's a lot higher. Because if I take $48,000 and I
Yeah.
divide that by 20,000,
Yeah. Yeah, because this 48 includes sweat equity. If you don't take sweat equity, then it is 118%.
Yeah.
so if I
that's
don't include it, what is this real number? It's not 44.
Then it's 23.
23.
God, now this makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, because obviously there's a lot of coaching here, at the end of the day, you're made $23,000
Yeah.
for your 20, which gives me over 100%.
That's right.
I see. See, the thing here, obviously, we don't buy our money for all cash, but you're saying there's a way that very few people know how to do, that you buy the money for all cash, you put a little bit of lipstick into it, 5 grand worth, you tenant it out, and then within a couple of months, they can give you back up to 80% of how much you've put in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that.
They don't know.
Most
and
people who buy, I have friends who buy in Atlanta, who buy in Detroit, who buy in Phoenix, and they're buying properties that are like $60,000, $70,000, but they're not getting money out.
They're not getting-
So Anil, how are you able to get money out? How are you able to help a newbie get money out? Is it your relationship with the banks over the last 4 years, or how are you able to do this?
I would say every day the market is opening up. So when I started
Yes.
buying in 2012, it was very difficult. 2013 was better, 2014 was better, 2016 is still better.
But see, here in Canada, the more properties you buy, the stricter the banks are because they see it as too much leverage. In the States, is it opposite? The more money that you have into the market, they see you know what you're doing, and so they open up even more for you?
No, it's not like this because what happens is when you have more properties,
Yes.
you are considered as a commercial client.
Yeah, so they look at you. They look at numbers. They're
look
not
at
looking
numbers.
at your
They-
personal
they-
well-to-do. They're just
yeah.
looking at the numbers.
They don't look at my income, neither my credit.
Yes.
They look at the portfolio. They see how much money is it
Yeah,
generating.
so that's what I mean. The more you buy
Yeah, the more
and
you
the
buy.
more money you're making, the more they favor you.
Absolutely.
Here, unless you're buying a multiplexes, if I had 42 individual properties, they would look at me like I'm at risk. But you're saying in the States, that's another great reason to purchase down there,
Absolutely.
is that the more you buy individual homes or whatever, I mean, the income that's coming in, $50,000 a month,
Yeah.
the more you'll give you and the more they'll be able to, because how was he able to do that? They wouldn't do that for anybody. Is it based on your relationship that Zach was be able to
Yeah.
pull out up to 80% of what was in there?
Yeah, my relationship helps them to get connected.
Yeah.
And then because he knows that this guy is recommending, so.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, great. So when you pull everything out, you're in for $20,000.
Yeah.
You make $23,000. You double your money in the first year.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we're going to cut to break, and we're going to bring on another student of yours. But before I do that, what's next? Are you going to just keep going down this road?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're pulling the money out, so you just keep going and buying more and more properties,
Absolutely,
and you know, maybe the student can surpass the teacher, perhaps.
Yeah. No, he bought one in 2014 and he bought two subsequently on his own.
That are going to close.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
So he's taught me
Fantastic.
everything I need to know to be somewhat efficient.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Yes. You're watching The Everyday Investor. These are the kind of shows that we bring you. You want to make sure that you continue to watch this show forever. When we come back, we have another one of Anil's students showing us how he's making money in the States. Thanks for watching, everyone. With depreciation and mortgage interest deductions, your cash flow could be tax-free. Capital gains may be due on the sale of the property in the future, however. Any opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants personally and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers, Rogers TV, or of Greybrook Securities Inc. Please consult a professional investment advisor before making investment decisions. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We're talking to my guest host, Anil Walia, learning how he has 42 properties in the States, cash flowing him over $50,000 a month, correct, a month, and how he's teaching other people to do it as well. Kyle is on the show. Kyle, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So tell me about how did you get to meet this very smart man, Anil?
Yeah, so I met Anil at a real estate event.
Okay.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he basically, we discussed we shared the same passion for, real estate, and he explained to me what he was doing in the U.S. And I expressed an interest to join his mentorship program, which I did. But along those lines, and even getting to that point, there's a lot of fears, a lot of concerns. You become skeptical and not, you're not sure of what.
Like most people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I met with him. He reassured me of a certain technique and ways that he acquires these properties that are below market value. And, and then from there, it just the rest is history, so to speak. Right?
So you have one property, two properties.
Yeah.
You just bought a property.
Yes.
Closed
last month.
It closed last month.
Yeah.
And so everything's all set up, and you're already making money.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So let's take a look at this property. So this is in the same area, in the Orlando area. You did exactly the same thing that he did.
Exactly.
So what was the Kyle? What's the purchase price on this property?
Okay, so the purchase price of this property with closing costs and everything was $89,000.
$89,000. Okay. So you bought a property. We purchased that for $89K. And then I know that Anil wants to put a little bit of Band-Aid, lipstick, cut the grass, paint the fence, change the mailbox, that kind of stuff. How much did you spend doing that?
Correct. So with repairs and all the cosmetic work that was done on the property, about $12,000.
$12,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, $12,000. So that equals, your purchase price was $101,000?
Correct, yeah.
Do you mind if I use $100K?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so we are in the property for $100,000. All right. So you just bought this property.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that today or tomorrow you're probably going to refinance this, but you haven't refinanced yet.
No, I have not yet.
And so you bought this with $100,000 cash.
Cash price. Yeah.
$89,000 plus your rentals. You're in for $100,000 cash.
Yeah.
Into the property,
All
and
in.
you haven't refinanced. Okay, this is a great example. Yeah. Anil, we'll look at it maybe both ways. Let's look at what he's getting now, and then we'll look at also if he were to refinance, what we could get. So we're at $100,000. You put in $12K. We talked to Sack, and he only put in $5K, and it increased the value. And these are the banks that are appraising this. This is not just our estimation.
Absolutely.
So with your $12,000 on the $89,000 purchase price, this property is not worth $89,000 anymore. What's it worth now, appraised?
Yeah, appraised, it's worth $133,500.
100 and how much?
$133,500.
$133,000. So you went from 89, put in 12, and now it's worth $133,000.
That's right.
Wow.
Yep.
So what's that difference? How much money did we make on the forced appreciation?
33K.
Forced appreciation is we made already from the get-go. Like we could flip this property now.
Yes.
We're done.
I could, yeah.
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Just turned 30.
You just turned 30 years old. We could take that 30 grand, me and you, go to Vegas, have a little bit of fun.
Have a good time.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that because we're mentored by a very wise man. But just on the forced appreciation is 33K. Now, in this area, really, how much are properties going up right now? In the last 12 months?
Yeah, in the last 12 months, about 6%.
That's the accurate what it's going up? Last
year they moved almost 15%.
15%.
15%.
But if we say that on TV to all of Ontario, we won't say that it went 15%.
Yeah.
We'll use conservative. What do you like to use?
Yeah, going forward we can say 6%.
6%.
Yeah.
So this is a 6% appreciation on the right away the new value. Correct, or are we going to put it on the 100,000?
We can put on new value or 100.
On the new value, what would that be? So the new value, I didn't even write it there. What was the new value?
About 133. About
133. So we're looking at about what? What's that? 8,000, 9,000, $8,000.
Yeah.
So it went up passively, we just bought this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're going more than 50% conservative. And we're going to say it's only going to go up. And you're saying that, Rav, this is going to go up 17,000.
Absolutely.
Naturally. Yeah. But we're just going to use 8,000 for 6%.
Yeah, very conservative.
Okay. Great. So then we have mortgage pay down. But in this case, there is no mortgage.
No.
Because today, you bought it all cash.
Correct.
Okay. And now we have one tenant here.
Yeah.
And so what is the cash flow on this property?
Okay, so the tenant is paying $10.25 a month.
So $1,000 a month. So we're looking at about
I'm getting about 714 cash flow a month. American.
714 cash flow.
Net, yeah.
So we're looking at over $8,000. What are we writing here? About $8,000 a year?
Yeah,
Roughly. Yeah.
Okay, so $8,000 here. And so if I take these numbers, 33 and 16 is 49,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 49K on my 100, 49% you're making, and we didn't refi.
Yes.
Correct.
49. He's making 50% on his money. He's making 50 grand on his 100, and we didn't refi
Absolutely. Absolutely.
on your first property.
That's right. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. So let's go a little crazier. How much money? This is a newbie, but he's got Uncle Walia maybe backing him a little bit in terms of the relationships that you developed. How much money can I take out of this property? Conservative.
Yeah, he can take out 87,000. 65% of 133K.
Oh, I was looking at the 100, but we're going to take 65% of the new value.
New value.
65%. Okay, let me do this. So 65% of how much?
130K.
130, because that's what the new value is.
Yeah. It will be about
Okay.
87K.
87K.
Yeah.
So really, that's what we're going to take out. Congratulations. So really, you're in the deal for 13,000. That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Pretty much.
So you're in the deal for 13K. What was the other number that I said that all those three numbers added up to? Those three numbers added up to 49K.
49.
Yeah.
Come on. So we're going to take 49K. We divide that by 13K. This is like 160, 70%, I think, no? Let me see this. So we take our profit for you watching at home. We take $49,000 and we divide it by what we're in for. We're only in the thing for $13,000. And that gives me, what am I talking about, 150? This is 376%.
Yeah.
Anil, did I do this wrong?
No.
Well, yeah, of course. It's about a third, right?
Yeah.
300. So you are making 50 grand on your 13 when we're about to refinance, which will be in a few weeks because you just did this.
Yeah. Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. You see, when we refinance, we are leaving only 13,000 in the property.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where he takes, because remember the purchase price of the property was 89,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is 87,000. Plus you did some rentals.
Right.
So you need to go find another 13 grand and you do this all over again.
Correct. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yes, this is fantastic. And so, you've done it all. I don't want to say you've made the mistakes, but you've learned, Anil, how to really make this system turnkey. And so now somebody like Kyle doesn't necessarily have to do that.
Absolutely. Kyle is all set to buy his next property.
He's all set.
He goes to the bank, gets the money,
Yeah.
and he gets $87,000 from the bank.
Yeah.
And he got to put in 13, 14, 15,000 from his pocket, and he's owner of second house.
Second property. So what's the return on my investment? Well, we've seen the return on my investment can be 50% if I keep the cash in.
Yeah.
It can be 300% if I want to refi.
Yeah.
When do I get that? Well, I'm getting cash flow. It's increasing. I can sell it. I can refinance it. There's many different things depending on the exit strategy that I want. How much do I need out of pocket? Well, you're going to need $100,000 out of pocket in this case, but very quickly, I'm only in the deal for $10,000 to $15,000 once I refinance.
Yeah,
The fourth question, though, Anil, is what's the risk in this? And so I really want to make sure we talk about that. In your opinion, I know it's hard for 42 properties later, $50,000 a month, but as objective as you can be, what would you say is the risk where somebody has to be very careful? Obviously, they have to have a mentor, somebody who's already doing that. But what else? Is there something I'm missing here? Is there, huge tax implications? Or not really, the same as there would be here? What is there? There's got to be something.
No, there is no, the risk part is you got to manage a rental property. There could be issues with the renter. There could be issues with the
Yeah,
climate.
but you have a property manager that's working very well for you.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to use yours.
Absolutely.
So what else?
So that's what I'm saying. The risk, in my opinion, the risks are manageable. There is no great risk. It's a real estate. That's why it's one of the best way to build wealth through real estate.
Yeah.
You just buy a property, buy and hold.
Yeah.
And it keeps going up.
And let's just say 2008-9 happened again. Just say.
Yes.
Properties drop. But people still need a place to live.
Absolutely.
You didn't lose any money because we didn't sell.
We didn't sell.
We're still, people need to, in fact, they need even more now. More people are going to be renting.
More people are.
So in that sense, whether the properties, if they ever did go down, you still have your tenants. It doesn't really matter because you're not selling the property.
Yeah. You see, we got to only ensure that we don't over leverage. Like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, always leave minimum 30% of equity in your home.
Okay, so you don't want to ever take out more than 70%,
More than 7%.
even if you could.
Even if I could, I would never cross 70.
Okay. So you have enough equity there.
That is
very wise.
Yeah. This is a fundamental to maintain big portfolios.
Yeah.
That never over leverage, so that 30% of it, no bank.
And is that your advice for Canada too? Because we can take up to 20. We can leave 20% in, but you would say even in Canada, leave 30% in.
Even in Canada.
Yeah.
In Canada, I would say leave 35%.
35% in Canada.
Because the market is very hot and you never know which direction it is going.
All right. So what's next, Kyle? What are we doing?
What's next is to continue to do the stuff that still works.
So we're going to refi, we're going to pull out our money, and we're going to do the next property.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just keep going.
And you didn't see this property. You've never seen this property.
Absolutely not. This was been done just through the internet, computer pictures.
Through the realtors, through all this stuff.
Correct, and we have a whole system in place with a whole team.
Yeah.
And they're very, go through those steps.
Today, not only Kyle,
Yes.
Kyle's father, mother, sister, everybody is very satisfied and happy.
Oh, yeah.
And Anil, you have 42 properties. You have never seen the property prior to purchasing.
Absolutely.
Not one.
Not even one.
Not even one.
It is not required.
So in the last 4 years, since we bought our first property,
Yes.
how many times have you been to Orlando?
About 4 times.
Come on. 4 times in 4 years.
Yes.
And probably a lot of it was leisure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at what's happening.
Because even if I go, now the houses are rented, so the renters
They don't
are
want
not
you?
available. Yeah.
Yes.
Even if I go, I just go for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. They don't even offer a cup of tea.
Wonderful. Listen, thank you so much, Kyle, for being on the show. You stay on with me, Anil, when we come back from the break. I just want to hear kind of your closing thoughts to the viewers at home. You've been watching The Everyday Investor. Lucky you this week. Actually, every single week. Make sure if you want to watch the repeats, go to rogerstv.com. Find it all there. We'll be right back with Anil Walia's closing thoughts. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions pertaining to this show, or if there's a topic that you would like covered, please visit www.rogerstv.com. Any opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants personally and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers, Rogers TV, or of Greybrook Securities Inc. Please consult a professional investment advisor before making investment decisions. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. We've had a phenomenal show. Again, if you've missed any of it, go to rogerstv.com. Make sure you find the repeats. It'll air all week. We've had my good friend Anil Walia on the show teaching us how we can make a lot of money investing in the U.S. Anil, thank you so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure. I'm always inspired hearing your story and your wisdom. If there's anything that you would say to the viewers at home about investing in the States, what would you say? I mean, it was great having Zach and having Kyle on the show. What would you say in terms of other people wanting to do the same thing?
You see, what I have seen over a period of time, a lot of people, they entertain the idea of buying properties in states. They know so many things, but they are not able to take the first step.
Yeah.
Taking the first step is very essential. In fact, both my students who came, Kyle as well as Zach, they had shown courage. They had difficulties. They had taken a lot of time to decide. But finally, I admire them because they took the first step,
Yeah.
and they found it was comforting. In fact, they had so many questions. Now they don't ask me questions. They were asking how much is the return, whether it is good investment, bad investment. Now I'm sure after their first investment, they are going to sell everything they have and invest in US.
Yeah.
Because they know.
So what you're saying is we can see everything, we can see that it's right there, but still we need courage to be able to take the first. There's a leap of faith there that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
And then obviously, like anything, once you do and it works, now I'm addicted to it. I want to keep doing, more and more.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I know you've talked to me over the years, and you're saying, Raf, so many people are calling and wanting help. I'm not quite sure how to do it. So now you've kind of set up a bit of a mentoring program. People can go to your website, get a hold of you there, and you help people do the same thing, as well as you continue to buy properties ongoing. What's your goal, Anil? Are you going to 50, 60, 70? What's your exit plan?
Yeah, you see, Florida or Orlando area, even today, there are a lot of foreclosure homes.
Yeah.
This is the third largest county which is giving foreclosure homes. First is Ohio, then Illinois, then Florida is number 3.
Right?
After that is Nevada and New Jersey.
So there's still a lot of properties that you're going to be doing.
Still a lot of property which are available for foreclosure. So
Yeah.
you see in single family homes.
Yeah.
In single family homes, it's best to buy houses which are under foreclosure.
Well, listen, I think it's fantastic, Anil. I can't wait to have you on the show again. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're talking to my friend Anil Walia. Thanks for watching The Everyday Investor. We're going to continue being here next week, same place, same time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Honey, I'll be home soon.